how to use AI or how to be more human in a world that's driven by AI.
For Ruggable, that was the brand that I scaled to 9 figures. Our number one ideal customer profile was...
I'm literally living in the golden age right now. There is an infinite amount of opportunity to make money. So guys, today we got special guest, Mason Littlejohn, who had a life-changing event happen recently, became a father to Willa. How's fatherhood been?
Fatherhood's been awesome. It's actually kind of blew my expectations, really. I was super nervous for becoming a father, being an entrepreneur, have a few businesses I run or I'm part of, and everyone was telling me, you're not going to get any sleep, your life's going to be kind of over. So I was like pretty worried about that because I didn't want my businesses to fall off. But
yeah,
luckily my wife's been amazing. You know, it's mostly her doing a lot of the stuff, like feeding the baby that I can't do. But also we have a great baby who's very chill. And so I've gotten a decent amount of sleep kind of from the beginning. So yeah, can't complain. Really blessed. Yeah, excited for what's next.
Yeah, it's an exciting chapter. I became a dad too, as you know, and it's definitely life-changing. What's one thing that you wish you would have known before becoming a dad?
One thing I wish I would have known before becoming a dad. I guess it wouldn't have changed anything, but like how frequent like the diaper change thing really is. It's like literally like they'll poop and then like you'll change the diaper, then like it'll have been changed for like 10 minutes and they just like poop again and you're like, I literally just did this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it would have changed anything. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think nothing really stands out, to be honest.
Yeah.
What about you though?
I mean, the diaper changing definitely is like a legit thing. You go through so many diapers. I mean, they've literally pooped and then pooped again, or like they'll poop and you're like putting on a clean diaper and then they'll just start peeing all over themselves. And you're like, well, I don't know. You have a girl, so it's a little different. I've got 2 boys, and so their wee-wee's just like all over everything, and you got to just be very like real quick with that diaper change. But it's been pretty easy for me. My partner, she's great. She handles pretty much all of it. I don't even change pretty much any diapers now. But the first few weeks, there was a lot. I think the sleep deprivation was probably the hardest thing for me because, with like 2 babies, twins, it was just like I felt like I needed to be there and like support a little bit. But after a couple of weeks, we got in our rhythm, and now I'm able to, sleep through the night. The boys started sleeping through the night, so that's been it. I think the biggest thing for me, though, that I've noticed is like I've always been ambitious and like a hustler, but I just feel like everything is so crystal clear now of what moves the ball forward and what takes me away from, the mission. Yeah. It's like, if it's not making more money and moving me closer to my mission, it needs to be like time with the family and like spending time with the boys.
It's something with me as well as like, I've been a little messy with some of like my, I guess, operational stuff on the business where expenses, kind of not auditing them, not being as like on top of it as I should. But now like, I don't know, like it's unlocked a new level where like, I'm like, I need to get like everything needs to be like on everything. And so I'm getting all that stuff together, like getting everything dialed in, cutting things out that aren't, like you said, revenue drivers. Really, I'm like literally like auditing everything. I'm like, is this actually like making me more money or like helping me achieve my goals? If it's not, like it's gone.
Yeah.
Or like you said, and if auditing even my schedule, like is this call worth it? Like, or can I be with my family? Right? It's like all the time matters even more now than before.
Yeah, it does. So with Willa, what's more important for her to learn? How to use AI or how to be more human in a world that's driven by AI?
I think the latter. I think by the time our kids are in elementary school, I mean, it's probably going to be integrated where like it's just part of learning. AI is already just in there. And so I think it's going to be like, how do you think for yourself in this AI world? How do you be a unique, authentic human in this world where everyone becomes whatever they consume is kind of what they become, right? How do you maintain your uniqueness outside of that? So I think that's the main thing that I think is the most important, is like maintaining the human touch, being a real individual, like not an NPC, right? Someone that thinks for themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my take on that. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree. Same thing. We need to, I talk about that a lot to like a lot of my clients, even. It's like we want to humanize the experience. I think everybody's going toward AI I mean, and AI like raises the bar in so many areas from content to ads to messaging. But at the end of the day, humans buy from humans and they want to. There's some weirdos out there that think it's cool and like want to just do AI world everything, possibly, but I think most people want to have human connections.
Yeah.
They want to talk to a real human at the coffee shop that they go to, at the restaurants that they go to. So it is important to keep that human experience. I guess for you, like, how do you stand out in an AI world as uniquely human?
I think the main thing is like bringing your outside experiences like into the AI versus making the AI your source. I think that's the main thing. Where like I have people that like think they're really smart. They're like, oh, I extracted this from AI, but it's like you got to bring your real world insights, your real experiences, put those into the whatever Claude, ChatGPT, whatever one you like to use, right?
Manus.
Then utilize that to kind of like take it to the next level versus like everything starting in AI. I think that's where like when you're doing whatever you're doing, literally the bare fucking minimum. If everything you're doing is starting inside those platforms, like you gotta read books, do normal human things, have some hobbies, have some experiences in business and real life.
Yeah.
And bring those back into the AI. And that's how I think you kind of maximize that and like stand out.
Yeah, for sure. You're saying AI summaries of books isn't the same.
Well, I mean, if you want to like gather learnings, but like, people like will be like, oh, I want to start this, XYZ brand, make me a marketing plan. And now they're like, I got this marketing plan now for for this brand that it took AI 5 seconds to make. It's like, it's just not how it works. Like you're going to get crushed if that's I'd be happy if people do that for sure. We'll run laps out.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of propaganda around AI that people want to buy into. Oh, I've developed this 8-figure business plan with AI, and it's like, did they really, or is that just what this blog or AI article is trying to promote for some idea that they're trying to sell you on, or some AI app or technology they're trying to sell you on? Yeah, we're in an interesting time where with AI plus social media are already being so impactful. But speaking of AI tools, what are the ones that you're using the most right now in your workflow?
I use for like ChatGPT for more like research purposes or like data, like for example, something I've been doing with my agency clients or even my own brand is like our customer reviews or our customer data. We'll just upload it, have it get analyzed, like what are the top 5 customer profiles or top reasons why people bought from us or what objections they had to overcome. So like using our first party data, plugging it into ChatGPT, and then from there I typically will then take that, throw it into Claude to do like copywriting, script writing, stuff like that. Manus is one that I haven't dove into. I know.
Bro, if there's one thing you learn from this, get on Manus.
Okay.
Dude, it's like what ChatGPT did to everybody, like feel like Manus has done to AI. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's crazy.
So like, I don't even need the other two.
Bro, I pretty much only use ChatGPT now because I have a prompt master bot that I built that builds like prompts for me. I just give it like one sentence of what I want. And it'll like give me like a 1-page prompt that's like just baller status.
I need to get that from you.
Bro, I'll share the link for you. Yeah, it's pretty next level. And so I'll just use that prompt and then feed it to Manus. But Manus is so good because it's an agent. So it'll literally log in. You can give it logins. I had it audit a client's CRM. Just gave it my logins, and you can see it like the screen is like moving. It goes to the website, puts in the username. It'll read articles for you, and you can see like where it's scanning. You can watch videos. You can put it to like a YouTube video and be like, watch this video and summarize it for me. It's freaking wild. Yeah.
So it's like even better than like Poppy AI. Then you don't even like need Poppy, kind of. What would you say?
See, I actually haven't used Poppy. Like I know my team uses it.
Yeah.
I haven't spent much time on it.
But it sounds like
I think I'm similar to you. It's like I like that human touch element of like copywriting. Do I use AI in everything I do? Yes, but I still want a final like touch on everything from the human experience. And then I found that our highest performing creatives are always, done by a graphic designer or a UGC creator, not AI. So that's kind of where I'm at, but I know it's like very close to, and I have heard from other agency owners that they've cracked the code on AI. Now it's hard to repeat and there's still some nuances to it, but they've been able to reduplicate like pretty consistent, scalable AI driven content.
I think the main thing is, especially with like the Andromeda and just like for at least for Meta ads, like the diversity thing being so important. Like
Mm-hmm.
AI can help you 10x your diversity,
Yeah.
versus you having to like come up with new
Right.
scripts in your
Right.
head, right? So it's just so much easier
Yeah.
to do that
Yeah.
with AI.
That's one of the things that I use it for too, is like, give me 15 reasons somebody would buy this product. And now it'll come up with all these different ideas that I would have never thought. And now we can create content angles around each of those. So, yeah. What's your process or workflow? I mean, I know you've scaled brands to $1 million months. If I'm not mistaken, you've scaled one brand to 9 figures.
Yeah, I mean, like unicorn valuation, probably 4 or 5 billion. But yeah, I scaled into 550 million a year in the US, probably like including.
Yeah, that's 9 figures, right?
Yeah, 9 figures.
Yeah,
Yeah, including like Europe, we were probably like, or sorry, worldwide, we were like doing 750 million a year.
Okay. So when you're looking at a brand that wants to spend 7 figures a month on ads or more, what are the systems that you need in place? What is the content strategy? Like how are you structuring things? Like, can we dive into that and break down like what that process is and specifically like your mindset going into that?
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with I call it, ideal customer profile. I always say there's, for your agency, for my agency, or in my coaching program, there is a number one ideal customer profile that is the easiest person to get. So that the first step is to maximize that. And there's twofold why you do that. One, it's the cheapest, lowest hanging fruit. You're gonna get the best CPA or cost per call or whatever you want to, whatever you're aiming to get. But number two, you train the algorithm on your ideal customer profile, and so that's kind of where I start with every single brand, and why we're able to run it up so fast. Typically, is because we only focus on that.
You're not testing new angles or new.
Oh yeah, because the number one customer profile that's also has the biggest, like has the most size in the market, right? And then. So, for example, for Ruggable, that was the brand that I scaled to 9 figures. Our number one ideal customer profile was dog owners. We sold machine washable rugs. Dogs pissed shit on rugs.
Right.
Were dirty. Went outside, ran on the rugs. They needed. So, and that's a massive amount of the people need. There's like 55% of everyone in the United States owns dogs.
Wow.
So we ran that up to $100 million a year, just basically focusing on dog owners.
That's crazy.
And so, but then we kind of started to get. Our CAC started rising, and I was like, all right. And so that's where you kind of hit the next stage. And every brand is different, where you only get to $1 million a year, and you gotta expand, right? Yeah. So it just depends, but it's all with ideal customer profiles. And then once you kind of start hitting the ceiling, then I call it ancillary customer profiles.
How do you know you're hitting the ceiling?
When like your CAC, customer acquisition costs rise, CPMs, your cost per clicks, basically everything just starts becoming more expensive. Your creatives fatigue faster. Yeah. So it's like you basically have hit your like max capacity on that profile. You can still keep running ads there, but you just aren't going to be able to spend more without cost eating at you. So then you got to expand out.
So, for example, for context for the listeners, what you're saying is like if you were to like, for example, launch like a male ED product, Hims, all these companies, they're putting white men with gray hair in their ads for a reason. You would lean straight into that market first before testing possibly like Gen Zers who might be interested in these products.
Yeah, so it's a whole lot of things. One is a distraction a lot. Like I was told in the beginning, like we need to test into parents or like college kids for their dorms, and I kept telling them no, like why? And every time we test it, it would just be more expensive, and a waste of time and a distraction, right? Yeah. So it feels good. You want to do other things, but in the beginning, it's just about keeping it simple, maxing out that lowest hanging fruit for as long as possible, and then you expand outside of that, and again, it just creates this momentum and velocity, because if you're just doing that, the algorithm just gets so much smarter, and just like everything is pushing into that market. The word of mouth as well, like all the dog owners are like this is like the stuff that can't be measured, right? All the dog owners are talking to their friends, and it's like the word of mouth marketing is growing, so it's like creates this snowball effect where if you like spread out the spend across 10 customer profiles, that's not really happening at the rate he just did.
So nailed first step in scaling to $1 million month in profitable ad spend, nailing down your ICP.
Yep. Most people just start going after, they want to test 10 different profiles, or it's all right to do different angles for a single profile, but most people like try to do like 10 at once when they're starting out.
And so, like, what would explain the difference between an angle and an ICP?
Yeah, so an ICP is like a distinct customer, right? Like a dog owner, I mean, that's kind of like a very broad one, but there's could be a lot of different reasons why a dog owner would buy a washable rug. Maybe for one dog owner, the dog is an old dog that just keeps peeing on itself, right? And like that's an angle.
Right.
There's another one dog that keeps puking on the rugs.
Yeah.
That's an angle, right?
Sure.
There's a dog that always goes in and outside and inside the house through the little doggy door and always just bringing in dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's another angle, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of an example of like one profile, but like different angles for that.
Yeah. And then from there, like, how are you setting up these? We got down the ICP. Now, what systems do you need to get to the point where you're like, okay, we're ready to start spending. Here's everything I have in place, and going, as I'm sure you know, it can go from getting results really easy at low 5-figure spends to then scaling up to 6 and 7 figures. You can burn through creatives like really fast. So what are the systems that you need in place to make sure that you can hit those numbers and spend?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just like systemizing inputs, where I call it like when you scale, you have to scale everything. Most people think like, oh, you just scale your spend and that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you got to scale your emails. How many emails are you sending per week? How many SMSs are you sending per week, right? Your email automations, you have to expand them, make them longer.
Yeah.
Also your creative output, right? You have to scale the amount of image ads you're running, video ads you're running. And so that's kind of really what it comes down to, is every brand's different on like what that number is. But typically you'll land on a certain amount of image ads per week, video ads per week, and that becomes like the standard. And then over time, as you scale, you're realizing, hey, like 5 videos a week, they're fatiguing in a week. Like we need to do 10 videos a week if we want them to last longer, right? And so it's really kind of, there's a lot of nuance to it, but typically that's like systemizing those inputs. Like, hey, every single week we make 20 image ads and 10 videos, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
And then if we feel like we're capped, then we got to increase that volume.
Now, with your clients, do you provide all of those services for them, or do you help consult on like what they need to do if they were to hire an email marketing agency, or what specifically is it that you guys do?
Yeah, I mean, for my agency, it's mostly just media buying, where they want me to run their spend. Typically, I like brands to do most of their creative in-house. I do help with script writing, creative direction, all that sort of stuff, new ad angles, but most of my clients just want me for the media buying portion. I do give insights though on the creative, on the email marketing, SMS marketing, their website. I kind of act as like a performance marketing CMO, where like I am the media buyer, my team, but I'm kind of like, I poke my hole into everything because everything impacts my ads. Like all I care about is if my ads are doing well, and if anything's fucking my ads, then like I'm on their ass, like making sure that they're fixed.
Right. And then are you running Google and Meta, or just Meta?
Depending on the client, but I run Google for some clients. I run typically most of my clients, I'll run their Meta and TikTok ads.
Okay.
Google, it's like whatever. Typically Google's not a big spender. It's pretty easy too. I don't really enjoy it, but I will run it.
Yeah. And then with TikTok, when is a good time for a brand to get on TikTok advertising?
Usually, again, it all depends on the brand, but like when costs start to rise, say you've already expanded past your initial ideal customer profile on Meta, costs are rising, CPCs, it's getting more expensive to get traffic to your site. That's when you're like, all right, let's start diversifying our traffic sources. And so TikTok is a great one where typically when you're new on the platform, you can get really cheap traffic. Is it going to be quality? Not, you got to make sure you like knock the creatives out of the park. But that's kind of really where you start to see costs rise on Meta, and then you want to get incremental traffic at an efficient price. That's when you kind of start bringing in TikTok. TikTok, it's a much more fickle platform. Meta's like the GOAT of algorithms.
Yeah.
Like, TikTok is like,
and now even more with Andromeda, I'm like, this is kind of crazy how good it's gotten.
Yeah, and TikTok can literally, like, I had a client, like, we were crushing on TikTok, that then all of a sudden just 1 week, like, everything just shit the bed for like a complete week.
So many times.
And then it like came back a little bit, and they're like, what's going on? I'm like, TikTok is like, it's like all they care about is TikTok Shop. I just explained to them, like, your ads are competing with TikTok Shop. They're competing with all the other stuff on the For You page. It's not like Instagram and Facebook. It's like you're live shopping you're competing against. Yeah. Just like all these other things that TikTok cares about. Yeah. You're kind of
we also found out it's not a true algorithm, like that some companies are able to pay engineers in China. This is from like one of the VPs. I don't know if he's still a VP there, but yeah, I was heavily invested in TikTok. We were TikTok shop partners, TikTok partners, and it was just too volatile. I'm like, I can't take your money as a brand and say I'm going to confidently be able to get you money next month because yeah, I do. Like you said, you'll have moments where you're like, this is freaking great. We're getting crazy results. And then it just tanks. And as a performance marketer, I'm like, yeah, we're doing Facebook first. And then once we get to 6 figures in profitable spend, we'll consider TikTok. But like that conversation is dead until we're there.
Yeah, that's what I typically do is like, we'll spend a little bit there, but never like fully trust it. Like it's just not.
Yeah.
You can like rely on Meta for like
Yeah.
results
Yeah.
every single month, more or less.
Yeah.
As long as you're doing
Yeah,
it.
definitely. Now, I'm sure there's probably some products that would just start off very strong on TikTok, but I don't really work with those. Like mine are generally selling to millionaires, all my brands, you know, weight loss products, high ticket services, mid to high ticket services where it's a little bit more affluent demographic. So it just doesn't make sense for us to like go out the gates and, you know, roll the dice on TikTok.
No, literally. The consumer there is like, I mean, TikTok shop products are like $15. It's like the cheapest stuff they're selling. It's
Yeah. So you've got the systems in place. What's your structure? A lot of changes have happened, I think, from what I'm hearing just in the marketing community from media buyers, strategies that used to work, structures that used to work, just completely tanking overnight with Andromeda. What is your structure now? You know, to scale to a 7-figure month on a platform?
I'll be honest, it hasn't changed a lot even since Andromeda, where when they first introduced Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, that was like their first kind of like big algorithm change. And that's when like the algorithm started like say you launched 10 ads, it would pick like 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And that was like the beginning of that. And so that kind of shifted a lot of everyone to start having testing campaigns where like if you want to actually get answers if an ad's a winner or a loser, kind of like isolate it in its own ad set. So that's typically what I have in all my clients. We have a testing campaign, ad set budgets. I start the budgets at $50 a day. You can go as low as $25
for the campaign.
Yeah, for the test, for like a testing ad set. Yeah, I test at $50 a day, and then we scale from there. Again, this is e-com, so it's not high ticket.
Yeah.
And I haven't ran this with like my coaching program call funnels yet, like testing campaigns. But yeah, we have a testing campaign, and then that we run that with 0 exclusions. Like we don't care who buy. We just want to know will people buy from this ad?
So just purely creative testing.
Yeah. So then once we get the answers yes, then we'll add exclusions. Like we'll exclude customers, and then we also have our like performance or scaling campaigns, and that's where like we have full exclusions there. Website visitors are excluded 180. All customers, a whole email list. And so that's where we go after completely cold traffic with the winning ads.
Right.
So we scale in testing, and then we also scale in our scaling. And that's really the setup. I do also remember retargeting, but you got to be controlled with the retargeting these days. It does have a place, but just got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
Not over.
Right. So it sounds like just 3 campaigns, 1 for testing, 1 scaling, and retargeting.
Yeah, I mean the scaling campaigns, I believe in like I'll have like a video only scaling campaign, an image only or static only scaling campaign, or a product only. Like I work with a lot of apparel brands, and so we'll have a hoodies only campaign or like a sweatpants only campaign. And so it really depends, or even a customer say we have like multiple customer profiles we're going after. We'll have campaigns for each profile. So it really depends on the brand.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I scale with campaigns.
Yeah.
Some people like I'm not a fan of the over consolidated approach.
Why is that?
Just control and less volatility. The more campaigns you have that are working, like if one has a bad day, the rest are. But if you only have 2 campaigns, they both suck. Yeah. For like 3 days straight, your whole business is nosediving, right? Right. You're actually like spreading the risk by having more campaigns that are.
And you haven't noticed in the recent months that like those campaigns are competing for the same audiences?
No. I mean, when I was spending with Ruggable, I was spending like $300,000 a day, and we had like 60 campaigns running at a time. Yeah. And like there's audience overlap a bit, but the algorithm's so good now that like really you don't even need to worry about it. Yeah. Like I literally don't ever worry about like audience overlap, like nothing, like ever. My only thing I worried about is like creative and metrics in the algorithm. Obviously, like are we reaching new people is another, you know, your cost per reach is a big one. But yeah, like I mean, I'm a little bit of a contrarian. I've spent a lot on ads, and I think audience overlap is like a huge myth. Doesn't really matter. The learning phase doesn't really fucking matter. Like just literally look at the data. That's your
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're definitely one of the top performance marketers, especially in like the e-commerce space. What do you look for in a like ideal client that you're willing to, you know, come on board for? Because I'm sure there's hundreds of businesses that want you to help them, but you're pretty selective of the ones that you take on as clients. Like, what are the things that you're looking?
Things I really look for is just like kind of like I'll call it maybe e-com IQ, but like do they actually understand like the whole marketing funnel? Do they look at things holistically, like the whole customer journey? Or are they like super interested in like in-platform numbers only, right? And so that's how you can kind of like basically like they have to be a sophisticated marketer and like understand how everything works together to achieve the result. And so I really only work with people that one really understand that, and then two, like let me do my thing, like hire me to be the expert and like let me run the show. Yes, I will share the learnings, I'll share everything that's going on, but like if you try to like tell me how to media buy, then like that's not gonna, it's just not gonna work for me. So that's really with me is just like let me do my thing and I'll get you the results you want. The second you start telling me what to do, then it like, and you can figure that out pretty early when if you're on a sales call, they're like, well, like this is what we want the strategy we want you to do. And I'm like, no, like I'm coming in here to create you a strategy, not implement the strategy that you
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges with clients, bro. I have one right now that just has been asking us to do all this stuff, and like we've entertained it, but I like today I was like, look, here's the results from all your ideas and tests. Our worst week ever. Not doing that no more. Like, that's why you hired us. Exactly. Please get out of the way.
And sometimes you have to like appease them. You're like you're like, they want to test this. I'm like, all right, we'll test this.
They're like, well, for them, it was like they wanted to launch like a new product, like service. And I'm like, let's just scale what's working. You know, like we need to just spend more on this is profitable. And yeah, it was just like stupid stuff that they don't think of because they've never been in our shoes and they don't see it from like the analytical side. And we're like, this is just math. You know, if I just do more of this, it's going to yield more of the result that we want in the right way. If I do this untested, unproven thing, it's going to probably lose me money. Yeah. Is there a chance that it could make us more money? Yes. But the risk to reward ratio generally doesn't pan out for us. So yeah, clients are.
It's always a dance with clients.
Yeah. What's the most common mistakes that you see business owners make that are preventing them from scaling and making profits from advertising?
I think the biggest thing is one, not seeing the bigger picture, seeing how everything works together, how, like I mentioned, you have to scale everything, like send more emails, always improve your website or your landing pages. That's a big one where like people will things will start working and then they like just stop like trying to improve their landing pages or their website, right? Or stop making new creative, or they just keep making the same creative over and over again. That's the big thing is like complacency and like thinking like they get one or two winning ads and they're like, they don't need to do the work anymore. Like that's the biggest thing with new brands is like they'll get some traction and then they'll like take their foot off the gas.
Right.
Or they won't systemize the inputs. And so those are the biggest things most brands kind of struggle with. Like I have many brands in my program who I've helped scale from like literally under 10K a month to like multiple six figures a month. And then they fall off and I'm like, yo, what happened, guys? And they're like, oh, we like stopped making ads. And like, it's just like, you know, people just stop kind of doing what got them there really. So.
Yeah, I see that a lot too. That's just a life lesson. It's like people stop doing the successful actions, right? I think that's one of the biggest things that I've taken away from Jeremy's mastermind is like successful people repeat successful actions. That's the difference between 8-figure and 7-figure entrepreneurs is repeating successful actions. If you think that if creating new concepts for ads every week is yielded good results, like continue doing that and don't ever stop.
Yeah, literally, it's literally that's the formula. It's like pretty simple. But people think they're like lucky or like, oh, I don't have to do it. You know, I don't need to film ads every week, or I can take a week off, or you know, it's like the brands that are, like you said, are going to 8-9 figures. They keep going. They just don't stop. They hire more staff. They make more investments in their business. That's really the kind of the
Yeah, I see it the most. I know like we do some asynchronous businesses, which are like your e-commerce businesses, the telehealth, but we also have a lot of clients that are, fully synchronous where they got to meet with somebody like we're doing right now to drive a sale. And I notice it the most in the sales process. They'll like start doing all these strategies that I tell them, hey, like send selfie videos, send personalized outreach, do this. They're like, oh my gosh, we have a 90% conversation rate, 90% show rate on our appointments. I'm like, that's great. And then I go audit the CRM like a week later and they just like stop doing it. And I'm like, dude, like that worked for you. What are you doing? Why did you stop doing the thing that worked? No wonder you're not having a good time this week.
No, literally.
So do you think AI is going to replace, do you think AI will replace digital marketers, or is it going to create a whole new class of billionaires who know how to ride that wave?
Yeah, I think in some ways it's just going to be like there's the gap between like the haves and have-nots, or like the top marketers and like everyone else is just going to like, the gap's going to get bigger, right? Like us being in Jeremy's mastermind and just us being in whatever like high level entrepreneur communities we're in. Even like I'm big on, I use X and Twitter a ton. There's like everyone, like communities we're in, we're like at the forefront of all the innovation. Like all the Fortune 500 companies, everyone is like literally light years behind.
So slow.
Yeah. So we're,
dude, I taught my mom AI, like she works at Boeing. She hadn't even seen ChatGPT and I had been using it for like 18 months. She's like, this is crazy. And then she's like, oh, like months later, she's like, we just got an update on ChatGPT, that thing you showed me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like just now? We've been using this for years.
yeah. So I think that, it's gonna be like people who know how to actually use it, prompt it, become like, we're like the conductor of the orchestra, really. Like, like once you kind of learn all these tools, like how to actually use them all together, like thinking like multi-dimensionally with them versus like people just using it to type something in, and like using it like Google versus like using it for like next level business outcomes. So I think it's just gonna increase that gap really very quickly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think the people that know how to use it as the tool that it is are going to make a lot of money. It's going to create a lot of 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs. The ones that don't, they're just going to be left behind.
Yeah, it's just like the A players are going to be A players with AI, and then like the C players are going to like half-ass AI, and they're not going to get anywhere, right? And
I mean, that's one of my interview questions is, how are you using AI to do your job better? And if they don't answer that question right, I don't even care how much experience they have. I'm like, you're not going to be
cooked.
Like you're going to be dead in like a year. Like your skills are about to be completely invalid, because AI, I think, is one of the most valuable skills now. I always say skills pay the bills. Sales, marketing, right? Marketing probably being the most valuable. Sales being like second most valuable. You could argue either way, but no doubt those are the two most valuable skills. Content creation's up there, and now AI like being the fourth skill. If you don't know how to use it,
so interesting. I like, until you just mentioned that, I never like thought of AI as a skill, just because I like just became a thing that we use. But like now that I think about it, I'm like, that is like a skill now, and it's very, very important. My executive assistant, like I have her fucking logged into she's just using all of that stuff, and it's just crazy how like it's like 5 EAs at once now versus just like a single.
Show her Manus.
Yeah, no, I know. I need to show myself Manus. I'm a bad mastermind member.
Here, let me make sure. Let me send you the referral code so I can get 500 points.
Yeah, do it.
Because it's all where I think where the other reason it's better is it doesn't shortchange you. It doesn't bog out based off of like how much consumption it's already done. It just charges you per use case. So if it'll tell you like this is going to use up a lot of credits if it's like a really big task, so that you know going into it. Which to me, I'm like, this is what I wished every AI platform would do. I'm like, I hate when Claude tells me, oh, you need to open up a new chat. I'm like, just charge me more money. Like, like just do the job. Why am I being limited on this premium platform? I never understood that. So Manus, shout out to the engineers there. Figured out what people care about, which is results. So what's scarier, AI running ads better than humans, or AI knowing exactly how to manipulate the psychology online?
Say what's scarier?
Yeah, what's scarier from your perspective? AI running ads better than humans, or AI knowing exactly how to manipulate our psychology online?
I think it's probably the latter, being able to manipulate your psychology, but then they would be able to use that probably on the ad side. I think for me, for my job, I mean, it's a little bit scary to think like AI could take my job or take advertising, but maybe I'm a little boomer thinking that I think there is a lot of nuance that humans have. Like I interact with business owners, right, who tell me they're what's going on in their business, all the different things that are impacting their decisions, right? And that also impacts their ads. Like, can the AI, once the AI is interfacing right with them as well, then maybe they don't need me, right? So it is a little bit scary but I do think, like, in general, like, I think, like, the majority of things will get, like AI will be better. Like, if you're a restaurant owner, like, you know, you could probably just use the AI to run ads for your business. But, like, if you're trying to
spend $1 million,
if you're trying to do things in record amounts of time and do things in, like, you know, at the, like, top 0.1% level or whatever, I think maybe it's a limited amount of time, but I think the human touch on top of AI will help get there. But that's kind of, I think that's my fear, but I think at the end of the day, like, as long as we're on top of the AI and being able to control it, I think we're able to control our destiny. But the second, like, we're not keeping up is when, like, I think that's when you're at risk, really. And so
So who do you think will own the platforms then? And who do you think will own the future? Entrepreneurs, the platforms like Meta that are leaning heavy into this, or the algorithms themselves?
It's gonna be interesting if the algorithms just go rogue. You know, it's like weird when you think about it. It's like, what is the Meta ads algorithm that powers, like, literally everything in the world, all the ads? Like, is it?
Well, it's 3 AI platforms.
Yeah,
I've read all the white papers for it, which took me like 8 hours. I do not encourage anybody to do it. You can just go to ChatGPT and get the summary of it. But there's 3 AI systems that they invested $60 billion into. And this is analyzing, there's one system that's analyzing, like, the user experience and creating all these data points and learning. And then there's the other system that's analyzing the ads, which is Andromeda, and deciding what to place it with. And then you got Gem, which is the the creative AI, all the new toggles, which are fucking retarded. The biggest, like, I absolutely hate launching ads now. It takes so much longer than it needs to, switching off all those toggles. Dumbest thing ever. Like, I don't know why they put that, but like you said, maybe they're trying to make it easier for, like, restaurants and businesses that are going to spend like a couple $100, maybe $1,000 a month on ads.
I mean, supposedly the small businesses are actually the ones that really move the needle for Meta. And so I think that's where, like, if they can, there's so many businesses not advertising still, like small businesses, mom and pops, that if they got all of them on, I think that's their whole goal, is to get, like you said, those extra $500 to $1,000 a month times all the business owners in America that aren't running ads. Like, that's actually pretty massive. So I think that's really their play with it, is like, it's not for us, it's for the layman, really.
You think that they would just have, like, customer support? That would probably help more than anything, but they don't. Like, that's the one thing that if they just put any amount of money into customer support, the yield would be so much better. But I mean, I know, I'm sure you probably know this too. I can think of like 10 plus friends within, like, my circle that literally cannot run ads because they've had some issue with Meta that restricted their account, or their asset got hacked in some capacity, and they literally can't speak to a human being about, like, I want to give you thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars every month. Like, can you imagine that's your business model? It's like, we have such a good business that we can pretty much say no to people that want to give us tens of thousands of dollars of business per month.
They're not even care.
They have zero care. And they're like, oh, even if you're spending $100,000 a month with us, like, we really don't care. It's like, not until you spend millions of dollars do you get a talk that actually knows anything about our platform.
Yeah, it's tough. I think unless you were kind of like I've been running ads for a long time. So, like it's like, even your history, like how long you have your Facebook profile, how long you've been running ads, logging in through your profile, like all that history is like on your side if you've been doing this for a while. And so, like, I see this with most people that have, like, are anti-Facebook, all these, like, people that, like, all of a sudden want to run ads. It's typically the ones that get screwed because they, like, create new accounts, or, you know, basically you just need people at Meta to, like, you need the kind of the ends. You either got to pay for it or you got to know somebody.
Well, Google's great. That's what I love about Google. Like, you could talk to a real human. They'll give you real results. They'll say, hey, I'll be back to you and give me till, like, end of day. I'll give you a response on this, and then they'll give you the update of why this ad get rejected or whatever reason. Completely different. And you think that Meta would have something like that? Because I feel like so many more people would advertise just simply by being able to solve the problems that are literally preventing them. Like, I know, like, 3 entrepreneurs that, like, very close, that, like, literally want to spend money on ads, but they can't, like, get their accounts resolved. Like, there's, like, an issue with, like, their Facebook page. or something, which they have like tens of thousands of followers, so they're not gonna like abandon it, and they just have all these issues. I'm like, man, you really need to talk to somebody, because they would be able to hopefully just like do something on the back end or tell you exactly what the issue is. But yeah, you can't, not the case with Meta.
Yeah, it's like Meta's like the for those who are doing well with it, like we love it, but for everyone else, it's like if they're not on the good receiving end of it, it definitely sucks.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm liking Andromeda rollouts and updates. One of the biggest things that we're seeing is like campaigns are fatiguing a lot slower. Have you guys noticed that in any of the ads that you're running or campaigns you're running?
Yeah, I think if like the creative, we have like solid creative, then yeah, I think it's definitely running longer. I mean, I've had one of my clients, I scaled from like 200K a month to like 2 million a month over the past like 9 months. And some of the ads we're running, like we have like image ads that have been running for like 6-7 months, you know, and so.
Wow, that's nice.
But the main thing is we have like 20 images running, like, you know,
Yeah.
so we've kind of like stacked all those winning ads and we just like let them keep running together. And so I think it's like if you have the volume, like you can get away with it, or not get away with it, but it's like working. But yeah, like you mentioned, like the AI systems they have, like the user experience, like if your ad like keeps people on the platform or like is a net positive to a user experience, like it's going to be able to last longer. But if it's like something that's not, then they'll like penalize you.
Yeah, big time. So with Andromeda, do you think this is the beginning of controlled AI internet where platforms own everything, or is this going to be a free market where creators finally win?
Are you saying like basically like we start using Meta to create our own creatives, or?
Well, since like Andromeda is an AI system that's essentially controlling how people see content, what they see, do you think it's going to be an AI internet where the platform like owns everything? Or do you think like this is going to be more of a free market where creators, as you said, the content itself, that content, if it's engaging and rewarding as in form of the user experience, like, do you think those creators are going to finally win because now their content is so valuable?
Yeah, I do. I think it's like a twofold. It's kind of like a little bit of both, where I do think like you used to kind of be able to like half-ass your creative and like get away with like cutting a lot of corners and like still get results on Meta.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm was so good. Again, if you had a great funnel and had everything set up correctly, you could kind of get away with like half-ass creatives and like still win. But now, because of Andromeda, it's sophisticated now where like you can't just remake the same ads over and over again anymore, with a slight tweak. So like the creators that, you know, or the marketers who use AI, you know, to make unique creative, like that's a huge edge. But at the same time, the AI systems, on the other hand, what if they change what they like overnight? What if all of a sudden they want 3-minute videos and you've only been doing 15-second videos and now you gotta like triple your production team, or what, you know, whatever it may be. Like,
yeah,
there's so much, like when they make an algorithm change, like everything can change overnight. But so I do think it's a little bit of both. There's risk kind of on both sides, but I do think if like content kind of rules the world now, so it's like if you can just keep making content and keep evolving with the platforms, then I think you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's kind of the biggest thing with brand owners. We're like, like in my coaching program, like you guys got to make content. Like you guys just like outsourcing everything, or like it's just not enough anymore. Like the volume needed is like you kind of have to be a part of it, or you gotta be, you know, if you're even not in the content, at least be daily, like having someone film content for you. Like it just has to be like a day, almost a daily practice now. Where before you could like batch creatives, like whatever, but now it's like you just got to be like way more on top of it than ever before.
Yeah, I agree. And I have a feeling I know what your answer to this question is, but if you had to bet your life savings, will AI make the next generation lazier or more superhuman?
I mean, I think it'll just kind of the distribution that already exists, it'll just continue.
Amplify it.
Yeah. Like the people
the
that
A players are going to
the A players are, I think it's just going to be like an insane like
split.
Yeah, we're like
the rich are just going to get crazy rich off of it because they've already built themselves and think differently, and then the poor people are just gonna get lazier and replace.
Yeah, we're like, the whole universal basic income thing, I thought it was like a joke like 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, oh, that'll never happen. Now it's like with AI, it's like, well, what are we, as like a crazy like dictator would say, like, what are we gonna do with all these people? You know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna do with all these like people that have made themselves not useful in a way, you know? Not to say people everyone has value, but like thinking of like human capital, right? As a business owner, you're like, well, you're only gonna keep what you need for your business, right? And so it's just, I mean, things are just moving at a rate that it's going to continue moving at a rate that we can't even comprehend. And yeah, I think that gap is just going to keep widening. And it's nice that we're on the receiving end of it, but
yeah,
it is kind of just kind of a eerie thing. We don't know where it's going to end up.
That's why I'm like so hyped to wake up every day, because I'm like, I'm literally living in the golden age right now. There's an infinite amount of opportunity to make money. And I just want to wake up and execute at the highest level every day and take full advantage of it, because I'm like, who knows what's going to happen? It could be 2 years, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. Like eventually things are going to drastically be different. And I want to make sure that I've created as much of a gap in that time frame as I possibly can, and hopefully even set myself up for success. Use the tools the right way so that I'm like, I can fuck off for the rest of my life and do whatever I want, hang out with my boys, go on trips. Like I don't need to work because I did the work now when nobody else did. Although I think I'll always be a worker. It's just in our nature as men, I think, to like have some project or something that you're working on. It doesn't always have to be monetarily driven, but you know, we're workers.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'll always have some sort of project. But one thing I was thinking about the other day was like when the airplane was invented and now we could travel worldwide, right? Or like the combustion engine, right? Where like we had like the Industrial Revolution, like these things that were like transformational to the whole world. Like AI is like kind of one of those moments, right? And so it's like, I guess my question for you is like, do you think it's any different than like one of those industrial revolutions, or like when the printing press was made, or like, when people started being able to travel around the world, like, or is this like different? Is this AI thing different than everything else that happened in history?
I think they want us to think that, but I don't think I know enough about AI to answer that question. Like, I don't really understand. Is AI actually like intelligent, or is it just simple computer coding that has existed just at a more like rapid rate that it has more logic built into it? Like, I don't know. I think if it's intelligent, yeah, it's probably different. But if it's just like LLMs, as we know, which is just like a lot of data that it's processing at a very fast pace, then maybe it's not.
Yeah.
What do you?
Or like, I think that's you nailed it on the head. Like that's the question. Like if it's just an advancement, then it's just like anything else that happened where we just became more efficient, right? But if it's this living, I won't say breathing. If it's this living thing,
hopefully not breathing
yet. If this is living thing, then like that changes everything. Yeah. Where like all these like movies that talk about the AI attacking humans, there's like, or people that say like, oh, like the earth has already been through this, the Big Bang, people who believe in that was like AI destroying the world, right? And now we had to start over again, right? So I think it's super interesting, and I think we live at a very transformational part of history.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely could be actually different.
Yeah, for sure.
Because people were scared like of all the different things that happened, all those like technological innovations. And when we went to horses to cars, right? Everyone thought like, people thought the world was ending a bunch of times, but like this like actually
Y2K.
Yeah,
it's like the most recent one.
This seems like it could actually be like very.
Yeah. Only time will tell. I just have faith.
Yeah.
That's like the best philosophy, I think. God's in control of all of this, not us. And I'm always just going to be on the positive side of the outcome of whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm on the team humans too. Like maybe we're made in God's image, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, humans have value, even if all this other's going on.
Yeah, I agree. I think that divide is also AI is, I think, also causing that divide to be greater too. But I also feel like the spiritual development can happen faster with AI, which is a little contradicting in a sense, because now we're able to like learn so much more stuff that wasn't accessible through books and the internet. And now it can just get all this information and consolidate it down for us, that you can accelerate that development, that spiritual development because of AI. So I feel like it is helping wake up people where, although I think a lot of people are just completely bought in and controlled by computers, technology, AI, which is like, it takes us out of our consciousness. Like that's where we as humans are different. It's like
checked out.
Yeah, we are fully conscious. We are made in the image of God. And a unlike any other creation, we can materialize our own ideas, right? Like we are creators, we are like divine beings, but technology pulls us out of that space, right? So I think part of it is pulling a large portion of people this one direction, but then the people like ourselves, I think, who use it more as a tool, as a guide, not like a control mechanism, can expand like that growth. And I think that's also a skill too, like the spiritual development side or energy, whatever you want to call it, just like being aware of having a little bit higher level of consciousness than most people, because some people just do not have that depth or awareness, and you can feel their energy, and I'm like not in alignment.
I was like, put your hands in front of their face. Are you fucking here right now? Are you awake or what?
Yeah. So speaking on that, what's your stance with altered states, psychedelics, breath work, meditation, as more specifically like tools for performance and clarity?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of all for it if you haven't like done it before, or like you haven't gotten everything you want out of it before. I think people do it for different reasons. Like I'd taken basically like all the things more or less growing up, kind of through my early 20s, but my main thing was like what I was searching for was more like what is the purpose of life? Is God real? Is like all these bigger existential questions was kind of what I was after. And so once you kind of get that answer, like you understand, I guess you could say, get that awakening that like typically you kind of don't need it anymore. But but there is benefits of like, ketamine or even MDMA and stuff at low doses can like help you achieve breakthroughs or help you with creativity or trauma. And so I definitely think there's other use cases. Personally, like I don't anymore. I was diagnosed being bipolar, and I like abused drugs, alcohol for a long time, not knowing like what was going on with it. And I didn't really know what was like, why was I doing this? I think obviously some was just my age, but others was like I did struggle heavily with like depression and stuff, and like just like use substances to like get through my life. And but I ended up realizing, figuring out like, oh, you kind of are bipolar, and so now I try to not take substances just because it kind of really messes with me. But I think if I was, I probably would definitely like try these biohacking stuff. And even like I saw someone the other day, like this big like I don't know, some influencer, like a trader influencer, was talking about how they're like, oh, I have this big business decision, or like I'm trying to figure out like if I should do A or B, so I'm gonna like go take a little bit of shrooms and like go on a hike or whatever. And I'm just like that's cool. Like I would definitely do that. I just based on like my mental health now, I like it's not smart for me to do that anymore. Not to say I couldn't handle it. I definitely probably could be fine, but I just choose not to. But I'm not against it. I'm like, I'll like if you're like mentally fit, then like like definitely. Why do I'm not really, like a huge fan of like synthetic stuff, but like
plant medicine.
Plant medicines I'm kind of like cool with for
sure. I think microdosing can be a big like unlock. Used right. But part of me is like, I don't want to rely on anything outside of myself. And I feel like as a spiritual seeker, all the messages are like saying the same thing, which is seek within yourself. All the answers are within yourself. So every time you like go outside of yourself, which any type of substance is, outside of your own, yourself, it might give you clarity, but it's also becoming like dependent on something outside of me. And I don't like to be that, but I do like psychedelics a lot, like microdosing. Actually, a funny story. I went to do you like Bon Iver, the artist? Yeah, he's like one of my favorites, and I was like jamming out to him like a few weeks ago. And you know how Spotify, it'll show like the events section, so I see that he's got the events tab. I'm like, oh, no way is he playing like local, this is gonna be crazy. And he was playing at this like small theater in LA. I thought it was like this like Song Explorer event. And so I assumed it was like one of those more like engaging shows where like it's one artist, they're kind of interacting with the crowd a lot, which I'm like, this is perfect. But like Bon Iver, one of my favorite artists, I've never seen him, want to see him. So I go to buy tickets on Ticketmaster, and they were like sold out. So I had to go on like StubHub, some other thing. So I buy the tickets, get a sitter, I'm like ready to go for a good time. I'm like, I haven't microdosed in a while. I'm going to microdose, going to have some drinks. And so we show up to the venue, and open up the curtains, and I bought tickets. I spent like $400 on tickets for a live podcast where Bon Iver was the guest. I was so disappointed because I'm like, I took like a couple drinks and microdosed. And now I'm like, no way am I going to sit and watch a podcast like this live. Like, this
that's wild.
Bro, that should be criminal. Like, you should not be able to advertise an event on Spotify
about music
that's sold through Ticketmaster, and then it be a fucking podcast. Like, there should be an explicit like terms and condition checkbox that you have to, like, I didn't even know they did. Who wants to go see a podcast live? Like,
yeah, they must have fucking duped everybody, probably.
Dude, people were getting up and walking out, but I'm like, man, I hired a sitter. I'm kind of like tripping. I don't want to go walk LA right now. Like, this is kind of crazy. There's people wearing masks in front of me. Like, I didn't even know people still wore those. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And, dude, I'm just like laughing so hard. I'm like, this would fucking happen. Like, my first night, like, going out, you know, since having twins with me and Pam, and it was just, yeah, it was wild. Like this, of course, would happen.
Yeah, that's weird. I guess that's how they do it. They get people to show up.
Dude, I had no idea people would pay for that. I'm like, send me the recorded version.
Yeah,
the one where I can fast forward through the boring parts. But yeah, whole. I mean, it was only like $700, including like sitter and tickets and parking and all that. But I was like,
you're expecting a sick concert.
Yeah, I'm expecting a concert, and I spent $700 for a live streamed podcast. It was so funny though. So, you know, you've had quite the success. Who have been some of your biggest like inspirations or mentors along your journey?
Mentors along my journey. Yeah, I think a big one. I mean, kind of how we met. We're in Jeremy's mastermind, Jeremy Haynes. I didn't realize how, like, you know, when I was like broke, you know, and now you watch those videos where like it all starts in the mind, and you know, like,
yeah,
like, you know, all those things. You're like, what do you mean I'm broke? I can think, like, nothing's work, you know.
Yeah.
But like once you kind of get from 0 to 1, you kind of, and then you like meet a mentor that like is at a bigger level than you. And I think with Jeremy, like, biggest thing that I get from everything in his program is just his like money talks. Like, anything when he's talking about mindset, money. Yeah. Like, yes, I learned a ton from marketing, but like that itself has like just the way I think about goals, life, money, the way I spend money now, where I don't live in scarcity anymore.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I would say he's probably the number one mentor, I would say. I mean, that has helped me like break free of the bondage, and I hate to say that, but like the bondage of the way I was raised, where like limited mindset, scarcity mindset, versus like you can literally have anything, do anything you want. And so that's kind of like probably the biggest unlock for me, was just that.
Yeah, he literally looked me in the face and was like, "Are you not in control of your brain?" And like dead ass, like asked me that because of a question I asked him. And he's like, "That's such a one-sided perspective that you fed yourself, that you're literally not in control of your brain when it comes to this subject." And I was like, he's like, right, that's a one-sided perspective. He's like, but yeah, I would say the mindset thing too, for sure. And just being around like, whether there's like 40 other $1 million per month earners in the group, and you just see like how they think about things and the speed of execution, how they look at money, time. Yeah, the mindset for sure has been big for me.
Yeah, and I think for me though, like one of the biggest unlocks for me, like how I kind of all got into this. I was a 9-to-5er. I worked at Ruggable, was their media buyer, and ran them up for 6 years. But I was under the guise that we were gonna IPO. I was gonna get rich, like blah blah blah, fairy tale. But COVID happened. E-com brands started not like, the IPOs like just weren't attractive anymore to like bank, you know, and the investment banks. And so that was out of the question. I was like, oh fuck, like all this stock that I thought I had that I was gonna like cash out on, like it's really a big question mark now. I was like, what? And then so that's when I started getting into Twitter, and I just see all these people that do exactly what I do that are making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I'm just like, how do I do that? How do I get into that? Like, and so that's kind of my journey started, where then I invested in coaching programs. That was the first thing I did. I invested in a coaching program on how to make content, launch socials, which is Nick Rogers who runs that. And then I did client ascension, which is like how to scale my coaching program once I started my own coaching program. And then this last biggest one is Jeremy Herring's mastermind. And so it's like, that's the biggest thing that's helped me is like purchasing mentors really.
Yeah.
And you become friends with them too. It's like, just like how it works. You kind of become, I don't say I'm like, friends or colleagues at least with some of the people, but like that's just like the biggest, like I think obstacle for most people that are stuck in the rat race or whatever, the wage cage lifestyle is like, they just can't invest in themselves. They can't get over the hump of like thinking things aren't a scam, right? There's like literally like your whole life changes once you realize.
Yeah, you'll go $250,000 into debt the day you turn 18 to get a degree.
The biggest
the biggest scam in existence. Like, that's crazy.
Or you could just spend like $5-10K to like join a program where the people are doing they're literally living the life you already want to live.
Right.
And you just learn from them.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, for all the entrepreneurs and hustlers out there that want to come up, like the biggest thing I tell it is do not pay somebody that hasn't done what you wanted. And like, how are you going to listen to some teacher teaching out of a book that doesn't live the life that you want? I never could take orders from school teachers because I'm like I wasn't a bad student, but I just was like, that's a dumb rule. Why am I going to do that? You're telling me that you're going to fail me in this class because I have a 96% test average, but I didn't do the homework? That doesn't make any sense to me. Didn't I prove that I'm competent at doing the thing that you're teaching me? And now I'm going to be set back for life because of that. I'm like, this is fucking retarded. I'd rather just figure this out on my own.
Yeah, it's because they're breeding worker bees. Can you do tasks we tell you to do?
Yeah, exactly. So would you say that the biggest unlock for you was like starting to invest? The biggest life-changing decision and unlock is investing into mentorship and programs?
Oh, 100%. That's like where literally like the inflection point where, because I started posting on Twitter a bit and then I joined the program and then they gave me a system to use and then I followed the system and then I got my first clients in it. And then once I kind of got to the ceiling of that, then I bought another program and then I joined Jeremy's program. And now,
so what was your income before you started investing in mentorships and where's it at now?
I mean, my salary at the company I was at was like $150K a year at the max.
You made it according to like
a
dream, right?
People like thought, I was just like, and I go on Twitter, I'm like, holy fuck, I'm broke.
Yeah. You're like, you made that in a day?
No,
a month?
like everyone's just saying like the most like $100K a month is just like whatever. And no, but so I was like $150K plus stock. I was getting bonuses, whatever, and then But mentorship, I mean, I was making zero side income. And then I bought that coaching program, how to make content, how to post on the internet, and become like an authority in your niche. And then that's when I got my first client, which paid me like $7,500 a month.
Wow, that's a good first client.
Yeah. And again, I got like the ideas I also bought, I know Iman Gotzi gets a lot of, I bought his agency course for $500, and that's where like all my like templated contracts came from, like my initial like playbook on like how to like run an agency, how to give a contract, like
the business side.
I got from that. And so literally like everything's on the other side of like making that investment in yourself, because I went from nothing to completely leaving my 9-to-5. I have an agency, I have a coaching program, I'm a part owner of an e-com brand, and
my first client paid me $500 a month. But I was like, I don't care. I just got somebody to pay me $500 from an ad, baby. That was like an unlock. I'm like, this is crazy. I just ran an ad and somebody gave me money from the internet.
Dude, that is the most advanced shit, is like being able to run ads and like
get paid.
Like that's like literally a money printer.
Yeah.
Content itself is like, it's not really scalable like ads are.
Ads all day. I'm like, I have people wiring me $30,000 from an ad that they saw on the internet. Like, I'm like, this is insane. That's why I'm like, I love ads. Like, all my problems are solved with ads.
No, literally, the ultimate leverage.
Yeah. Mentorship has been big for me too. I would say like that's one of the biggest regrets. Actually, I just dropped a video. It'll probably be hitting YouTube within the next like 24 to 48 hours, like covering my story. I've been an entrepreneur for, just over 10 years now, like 2015. I remember planting my first cannabis seeds in the ground, and like started my cannabis journey. And, here it's like decriminalized. So I was operating in this like gray area. And for 7 years, like, didn't understand skill. I chased money, worked hard, did all the things, but skills pay the bills. And it was like a light bulb went off when I I heard that phrase, and I was like, that's so true. Like, I need to master marketing. Like, I don't know marketing enough. Like, yeah, I understand the psychology. I understand how to like write good copy. Like, I understood it, but I didn't know the technical skills of like ads. And that was when the light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, I need to learn, I need to master internet marketing. Like, I'm not going to survive as a business owner if I don't know this. And it's just, I'm not making as much money as I want. So I'm going to fully commit to this. Paid $10,000 for my first mentorship program to get into it. And that was that. The rest was history. I saved up. Actually, at the time, yeah, I didn't like that. I was like, that's a lot of money, you know. Like, I hadn't even hit a 10K month yet. Like, I was just every month was month to month, and I had like a side hustle. I actually don't feel sick. No, I was flipping Vax cards and saved up like 10 grand, and so
no way, that's legit.
During COVID, I was like, all right, let me go put the money in my bank, and I'll send you the payment, and then. Yeah, that was what happened.
It's legit.
Oh yeah, flipping Vax cards. It probably helped like 25,000 people not get vaxxed.
That's the Lord's work right there, man.
It was. No, it was.
I remember I had to forge a Vax card just so I could keep going to Equinox when I was just like, this is the most retarded shit. I just like gave a fake Vax card to a gym.
Yeah.
So I could keep working out. I was like the weirdest shit.
Yeah, that I think for me it was going to a concert. I was actually really against the vaccine cards for a while because I'm like, I'm just still complying.
Yeah.
You know, like even if it's a fake one, I'm still like playing their fucking made up game. But I'm like, I really want to see this Rufus Du Sol right now. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, that was, man, it blows my mind that people still listen to the news and watch the news like it's real after like, I'm like, just go look at these COVID, like what happened, what they said, all the propaganda and fear and how they made you think. And now like what you know today, how can you ever trust that source of information ever again? Like if somebody lied that hard to me, I'm like, nothing you ever tell me will I ever believe. Like you've just lost all credibility from what you've how bad you've lied. And like that's how people like it's crazy that people don't do that toward the government, the schools, the newscasts, and all of those things lied so crazy through COVID. Like got people to just do crazy stuff. Like my family even, they were like, Daniel, I was such an outcast.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'm bro. I was like literally the guy that was like, well, I knew COVID was going to happen before it happened. One of the guys that I worked with in the cannabis industry, like super powerful person, he wrote laws for the like federal government and was like, there's going to be a world war, but it's not going to be like against shoulders. It's going to be on our minds. It's going to shut the whole like world down, invest in PPE equipment, invest in hand sanitizers. And like he was like kind of crazy, you know, like
it sounds like crazy with you.
No, at the time, this was like 2016, 2017 too, like well before it happened. But I mean, he's neighbors with Donald Trump, you know, like that's the level of power like that this guy had. And so when it all happened, and then me also being in the cannabis industry, I think, which was a very scrutinized, attacked, labeled, like people had a lot of dogmatic stigmas toward it. And so I was always just the black sheep. COVID was just the thing that woke up the population, the mass populace, to get on my team. You know, it was like I was the one like hippie boy, and then now all these moms, firefighters, cops, everybody's woken up now, and I think he's become aware of it, which has been great. But there was a lot of people that still just bought into it, and it's still crazy to see that they're like just still programming themselves with the brainwashing machines. But yeah, man, that was a wild time, COVID. They had books written, like manuals from like Sprouts, like this guy, because they would like come in, you know, I'd go into Sprouts and they're like, you need to put a mask on. I was like, that's none of your business. Like, go read your employee handbook. You know, you don't have any right to tell me what to do in this store. Like, your job is to stock the shelf, recognize your position. And they would like literally, like the management had these restaurants or of these businesses would have like notes on me as a shopper, because I'm like, fuck this. This is retarded. Like, I'm not believing any of this stuff.
That was a wild time.
Did you live in Newport during that time?
Beginning of it, yeah, I lived in Newport. Then we moved to Carlsbad for like a year in like 2021 to 2022, and then we came back. but mostly we were in Newport. Newport was wild. We kind of like,
Dude, it didn't shut like
dude,
most
we
of it
like
didn't shut
partied,
down.
like we were just going crazy for like
Yeah.
the first 9 months of COVID. Like it was just insane.
Did you go to Rothschild's?
Probably, but once it got everywhere, yeah, like
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, that never shut down. I remember like it would just have like a line down the street in CDM.
yeah.
It was like the most lit place ever, and then LA found out about it, and that kind of ruined it. But it was so fun.
But I think for me, like part of the COVID thing was like when I kind of locked in and like started like
Yeah.
to do this on, be like, all right, I'm doing this entrepreneur thing. Was that a similar time period for you when you kind of like, was it?
I would say slightly after.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For me, COVID happened. I was in kind of a not healthy relationship. Ended that, and that was like, I think like being heartbroken, financially broken. My family was broken. My parents were like still very like they just divorced of like 28 years, so it was a lot. And then I'm like, it's me versus me. I just got to be better. And it like was a year of like personal development. And then that was when like a year later was when I realized like, okay, now I'm a person of my, like, I'm proud of character wise. Like I do the things I say I'm going to do. Like I speak the truth. I had developed as the character I wanted. And now I'm like, okay, now I need to learn skills so that I can make the money. And that was like I want to say like 3.5 years ago that I really started investing. I mean, I've invested like over 200K into masterminds, mentorships, programs, whatever it is. Cause as you learn, like the more you know, the more the more value you can provide and the more money you can make from that.
Yeah, it's literally the biggest unlock is like you have to invest in yourself. And like the people, you either have to invest in yourself or you pay someone to do that skill for you. It's like one or the other. Yeah. And if you're a new entrepreneur, you best to just learn it yourself, right?
Yeah. So if somebody watching this wants to learn what you do, what would you tell them, or where would you send them?
I would say check me out on YouTube. If you search Mason Littlejohn, if you are interested in meta ads, you're an e-commerce brand owner, everything on there to literally launch a brand from scratch. Literally, you don't need to buy a program or anything. You could literally just watch all my videos and probably be successful. Might take you a little bit of time, right? Might take you longer than it would if you had me guiding you. So. But yeah, YouTube, where you can find me. Also on X. X is kind of where I started, or Twitter is where I started out. I have threads on there for like from like 2022 till the present. That's much more, I would say, high level, like sophisticated Facebook ad strategies. That's how I kind of got a lot of my agency clients was through Twitter. Those are like the two places I would recommend checking me out. What about you?
Yeah, same thing. Look me up on YouTube. If you like what I'm about, knock out the application, apply to work with me. Same thing. Or send me a DM at Your Propagandist on Instagram.
Yeah, I think the main thing, the biggest takeaway I would just say for everyone is that like you gotta invest in coaching. And I always say, like, whether it's myself, my meta ads coaching program, or whether it's a competitor, like, I really want people to join my program if, like, you relate to me, you think we would be friends. Like, that's the type of program you want to be with, is people you, like, vibe with. Yeah. If I'm not the guy for you, I'm the laid-back SoCal guy. If that's not your type, then, like, go to the other guys. But, like, if you want a real authentic dude who is the goat of meta ads truly, then, like... this is the place to learn. And so that's just invest in yourself, whether it's with me or with someone else. Just do it.
That's what masterminds are. You're pretty much just paying for your friends.
Like,
I gotta pick the friends that I want now. Like, this is sick. You mean there's richer, cooler, like friends that are just like me? I think that's the biggest thing my favorite thing of masterminds is that I've met friends. Like, that's how we met. Like, my best friends, I literally have all of my best friends now I've met through Mastermind. And I'm pretty much just buying my friends. It's not like that's my intention, right? I'm buying it to learn this skill or have somebody show me what I need to do that I don't know. And then there's all these other people from the internet that had the same idea that you had. And you're like, dude, did we just become best friends?
Yeah, we're like, I like doing
I like good food. I like surf culture, and I like making money on the internet. Like, we should hang out.
Yeah. It's like I literally met like some of my other met some guys off Twitter that like the guys that I surf with, like in Orange County. Like, I would have never met them if it wasn't for internet money. And like just posting on the internet.
Yeah,
you start to attract what you are, So
is the West Coast the best coast?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I sell, like, as my like that's what I sell as, like, who's who you get the most.
Yeah.
You get the West Coast. You get the most authentic like
Yeah.
SoCal person. If like you hang out or work with me, that's
Yeah.
kind of like what I sell. Like that's my like how I'm in a category of one. That's like how I try to position myself.
Yeah. Same. I think SoCal culture is cool.
And I just think it truly like I've been to East Coast. I've like some of these places are like yeah you could do like a few months or whatever like for sure, but like or a few years, but like when you really like overall could like if you had to live somewhere for the rest of your life. I mean I think it's hard. I mean I grew up here, but it's just hard to beat.
Yeah.
It's like
the weather is so nice. The waves too. I think it's the ocean. Like it wouldn't be there without the ocean. You have to, and I don't think you've experienced California unless you live like in a beach city or in the mountains.
Yeah, that's
there's a lot like a lot of my friends that have moved away from California. They're like, oh, California sucks, this and that. And like I was there once too. Like I literally moved to the Midwest because I thought I didn't like California. And you're not living in California if you're not in the mountains or in a
it just kind of doesn't count.
You're burdened by it. Like it's just an expensive place to live that isn't that great, especially in SoCal. It's like you're living in a desert. You need to be near the beach, like a massive body of water. But I agree, the West Coast is the best.
No, yeah, I think it's just funny where like a lot of like even online guys that I know that make a ton of money live in Florida or live wherever. The second they come to Orange County or Newport Beach, they're like, "Fuck, this place is legit." They're always just like, "Holy fuck!" Like,
yeah,
I get it now.
Yeah, it's an anomaly for sure. All you got to do is make money. When thankfully for us, not a problem.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's good. We knocked out a lot there.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be some good clips.
Yeah.
For short form, for ads, hopefully. Any last questions you want me to ask or answer?
I guess you could do like what if I was a telehealth company or own my own clinic, like why should I work with you versus going to the other guy?
Yeah. Well, for us, like I think what I see most common is like most business owners are paying agencies to learn at their expense. Like for us, like I think really got lucky. We were working specifically with like mostly med spas, and then semaglutide like popped up. And this was like 3 years ago that somebody's like, this is the hottest thing right now. And I'm like, what the hell is a semaglutide? And so that changed everything. We just happened to be one of the first companies to start marketing for it. And now, people don't pay me to learn what I need to learn. Like they're paying me to get the results that we've already proven. So I'd say like the track record is there. Like we've helped one client get to that 9-figure mark. They did over $100 million in revenue, less than 2 years of opening. We've helped 4 clinics get to 7-figure months. So we have the track record. We've contracted thousands of influencers. We've created thousands of pieces of content for this. We know what funnels, what message. Like I don't know of anybody who's more knowledgeable in the marketing side of the business in this space than like my team. So that's what they get is they're paying for my results. It's like if you're paying Michael Jordan, like what do you expect him to do? Well, I'm going to pay him a lot to put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah.
I know he's got a proven track record of this. It's like the same thing. We have a proven track record of this. We're not learning at your expense.
That's huge. That's I feel like most business owners don't like think about that because it's like if someone hasn't done it before, you're literally paying them
to figure it out. Yeah, they'll probably figure it out faster than you can because they know the technicalities of these platforms better and they're more knowledgeable. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm not getting paid to do what you say. I'm getting paid for you to get out of my way and solve the problems that you have. Like it's very clear, like you can call up a bunch of plumbers and the one that says like, hey, this is exactly what I need to do right now. Like and they know clearly what needs to be done. That's exactly what you're getting with us is we know all the things that need to get done end to end to start making money on this business.
Yeah, that's powerful. And yeah, I mean, if they can afford you, why would they go anywhere else?
Well, the thing is like, what's crazy is like, I think it's like, I don't think you can afford not to hire or work with somebody like me. I'm not saying I'm the only person that can like provide value. I know there's some pretty savvy marketers out there, but generally they're working in a company or they own the company themselves. As far as like the agencies, there's not really that many agencies, I think, that are that technical, these platforms in our space. Like, it's almost like we're kind of like this hybrid. Like, you obviously are very knowledgeable of e-commerce And then there's like your traditional lead gen companies who are just not very knowledgeable about really any of how these platforms work. They just know the tactics of launching ads, and they can like run Facebook ads. And that's the space. Is most businesses in our space, they're paying these lead gen companies to, like, could you imagine hiring a lead gen agency to like run a campaign for like one of your e-commerce brands? Like, it just wouldn't work. Everything would fail because they just don't know enough about how to piece everything together. And that's the unfortunate situation of this market. You know, I've talked with businesses like, oh, you're too expensive. And then 6 months later, they come back to me and they're like, yeah, I went with 3 other agencies. Like, we've spent an average of like $10,000 to $20,000 a month for the last 6 months to like at like a slight loss. You know, and I'm like, so really, like, you looked at my cost as expensive, but spending 10 to 20 grand a month to lose money, plus 6 months of you not making 6 or 7 figure months, like that really cost you like millions of dollars like that. And you know, when you can, I think when they can see it that way, those business owners, they're willing to spend. That's why, like, you know, I literally just got wired 30 grand to build out like the infrastructure for a company, because they understand how important that is. They're like, I can pay you a pretty penny, but I know it's going to start generating revenue in like 30 days, 60 days. We're going to be in like the pace that we want to be at, or they can just hire a bunch of rookies and amateurs that are going to cause problems for months and nobody's going to be happy.
Yeah, that's clutch. That you're a resource. You're the man for people to go to.
It's kind of cool because like, I'm like, there's not, but it's such a small market. That's the whole hard thing. There's like 100 telehealth businesses.
But I think they're like popping up more and more. I mean, I want to just join my program that like people they're popping up.
They are.
You being the best, I mean,
they just have to do it right, though. That's the thing. Is like most of them, like, I'm like, you're competing with Hims, who has $182 million per quarter marketing budget. Just let that sink in before you start spending. If you're not willing to compete with them, how do you expect to make money in this space? Because that's who you're competing against.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
Yeah, but I love it. Like, I love where we're at. I love being in this space too, because it's kind of like a new market that's developed, and I feel, again, very lucky that we were able to position ourselves in that. And now, like, there's just so much opportunity in telehealth. Like, I just see, I'm literally turning away like partnership opportunities every week. I get like, somebody else is like, hey, we want to partner with you, and I'm like, I'm not interested. Like, I'm going to be losing out on the deal, and you're going to be gaining so much for so little. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I guess you could ask me the same question. Like, what makes me different, I guess, or what?
Yeah. So why specific, like what makes you different, and why would an e-commerce company hire you over some other agency?
Well, I'll talk about my coaching program, Meta Ads at Scale. That's really where my passion lies, is really helping new e-commerce brand founders typically escape their 9-to-5s through e-commerce. So what separates myself from the other companies out there that sell Meta Ads coaching is that I just have an unparalleled resume. Like, I've scaled a brand to literally a unicorn $1 billion company. I also launched that same brand from scratch into multiple countries.
Yeah.
And so I just have this unparalleled experience where I know how to get things from 0 to 1.
Right.
Not only do I know how to do that, I love doing it.
Yeah.
I love working with founders. And the beautiful thing about Meta Ads at Scale is that I create you a 6-month growth plan, giving you exactly what you need to do to scale profitably, both on the ad side, creative side, your email marketing, SMS marketing, and your website. These are all the key pieces that you need to be successful with your e-commerce brand. And this works for brands at any stage of growth. If you're just starting, if you're at 10K a month, 50K a month, we've had brands coming at 200K a month and even $400,000 a month that I've at least doubled, tripled their revenue. And so what also makes us different is that we have a guarantee. If we cannot at least double your monthly revenue wherever you're at, and if you're a new brand, if you're starting from scratch and your goal is 10 or 20K a month, we'll devise a goal together. If we cannot hit that number within the 6 months, we will work with you for free past that 6-month mark until you hit your goal. The reason we do that is, one, I'm so confident in my team and our systems, but number two is we actually give a fuck. We actually care, and we want everyone to become a case study. Like, my goal is to help as many e-com founders as possible escape the rat race, escape the wage cage, and really just live the life of their dreams. And it sounds cliche, it sounds cringe a bit, but like, truly, I love this.
Yeah.
And e-com changed my life. It got me out of, the life I was living where I was stuck, and this is my God-given gift. And I think that's what separates myself and my program from everyone else, is like I was destined to do this. I've been chosen to do this, and so I actually care. And that's really the main difference. And again, we guarantee these results too. And I run my own e-com brand. I think that's the biggest thing, is like I scaled my own e-com brand from 0 to 6 figures a month. 7-figure brand will probably become 8 figures within the next year. And so I'm also in the trenches with everyone in my program. Plus, I also run my own agency where I'm spending millions of dollars a month on ads. So I know what's working in real time. And so that's kind of what you get when you join Meta Ads at Scale.
Yeah, I think it was Cody Sanchez who I stole this from, but she said like millionaires ask how, billionaires ask who, right? Like millionaires want to know like how do you do something, and the billionaires are like who's done it before. So if you're looking to join a program, you need to look at like who's done what you're trying to do, or who's actively doing it. In this case, it's you. Same thing with the telehealth brands with me.
Yeah, it's like
do you want to know how to do it, or do you want to know who's done it?
Like who has the formula? Like you have the formula, I have the formula for e-com.
Yeah.
And if you want to collapse time, then join our programs.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, I think the biggest unlock for me with hiring now is like, just who's the best? Who's the most expensive? I'm going to see if they really know their stuff, and I'm going to pay them what they're worth, because they're going to make me way more money than what I pay them. Like they're at least going to cover their cost.
Yeah.
Well, we'll leave it there. Mason, thanks so much for joining the podcast.
Appreciate it. And I'll be back soon.
Yeah. Love it.